The disappearance of Owen Harding. Harding was described at the time as being roughly 6 feet in height and had dark brown hair, which was short. He was usually seen wearing tracksuit bottoms, hoodies of a dark color, and white trainers. According to his mother, Stella, Harding was a valued member of the local community. From his school teachers and college friends to the people he played football with, Harding was respected by those who knew him. Harding and his mother had an argument shortly before he went missing, which was around 6 p.m. on the 26th of March, 2020. Harding was struggling with the prospect of not being able to see his girlfriend, who lived 280 miles, 450 kilometers away in Pocklington, Yorkshire, due to the country being put on lockdown for the COVID-19 pandemic. After the argument, Harding left the family home that evening, heading to Telscombe where he intended to watch the sunset, according to his mother, Stella. However, he never returned home and nobody who knew him has received any form of contact from him since. It's thought that Harding may have attempted to walk from his hometown of Saltdean to his girlfriend's house in Pocklington, which would have been 280 miles on foot. The 16-year-old was frustrated that his girlfriend Meg Wells Rhodes was 280 miles away in York, where she lives. It had been an emotional few days. Meg had only just left after a short visit to Owen's home in Saltdean, East Sussex. Restrictions on travel had been imposed and it was unlikely the couple would be able to get together again in the near future. The teenagers didn't see each other regularly because of the distance, but Owen found the new uncertainty unsettling. Owen lives with his mum and 5-year-old sister in the Art Deco-era village of Saltdean set on top of the cliffs on the eastern edge of Brighton. Owen and Meg's families became friends through Britain's burgeoning community of parents who choose to homeschool their children. Meg is taught at home, and Owen had previously attended Brighton Waldorf School, one of the Steiner School network of providers of alternative education, before beginning art and film studies A-levels at a sixth form college. The pair had known each other since they were 11 but had only become a couple 2 years ago. Owen wanted to spend the lockdown with Meg, and had joked with her and his friends that he might make the journey north. But his mum was adamant that this was not going to happen. On the 26th of March, the argument flared again, and as the evening sun illuminated the South Downs, Owen left the house without saying a word to his mother. CCTV pictures show the teenager walking south, down Bannings Vale in Saltdean, towards the cliff top. The distance to the cliffs is less than half a mile. The eastern edge of Saltdean sits next to Telscombe Tie, a scrubby expanse of grass popular with walkers that marks the meeting of Brighton's eastern suburbs and the South Downs. There are only a few hundred yards of grass beyond the coast road before the tie stops at the Sussex Chalk. He made a phone call to Meg after he left the house. He said that he just had a big argument with his mum, she says. And I was upset as well because I had just had an argument with my mum about the same thing. And then we just sort of cheered up and he said he was just going to watch the sunset. It was the last time anyone has reported having spoken to Owen. Cell site records show that Owen's phone was connected to the mast at the top of Longridge Avenue, which runs from the downland behind Saltdean to the coast road and the cliff top. At 18:23 it was disconnected. Meg made a further call to her boyfriend at 18:32, but it went straight to voicemail. Unaware of this, Stella was not concerned. We live by the sea, we live next to the downs. We go walking a lot. He just went out, off he went, and I just thought, well, good, go and get your allocated daily exercise. Go and stomp it off, go and get it off your chest and then you'll come back. But by late evening she had become worried. She contacted friends in Saltdean and Meg's family in York. Around 11 p.m. she contacted the police. Meg and her parents rushed back to the south coast the following day and the families began searching on the downs behind Saltdean and along the coast as far as New Haven. They called in at abandoned farmhouses, shouting Owen's name. A huge police operation was quickly organized. About 80 officers visited homes and businesses near the Hardings bungalow, but the lockdown made the operation more difficult. Police were occasionally frustrated by people not answering doors, and shops that might have been able to provide CCTV pictures had closed because of the lockdown. But police did give residents who owned security cameras police memory sticks. They were left in packages outside houses and later collected by officers. Before long, a huge support campaign had sprung up, one that continued to honor social distancing rules. Simon Watson, a retired Metropolitan Police sergeant trained in search techniques, who lives on the Hardings Road, offered to organize a methodical search. Teams of between 10 and 20 people, working in household groups where possible, combed the grassy clifftop area at Telscombe Tie and the scrubby countryside behind the houses in Saltdean. Watson had drawn up full risk assessments and briefed the volunteers before each search, with a strict reminder to maintain a social distance. Acknowledging the difficulties of the case because of the current situation, he said the community had remained resolute. Stella set up a small camp in the front garden of her 1930s bungalow, including a small statue of Buddha. She says this is a space for her to rest and reflect. Neighbors talked to her from the path, offering words of comfort and support. and friends gave her a wood-burning oven so she could keep warm on the nights she spent sleeping outside waiting for her son. Despite extensive search efforts, the teenager hasn't been seen since the evening of that fateful day. Owen's father died in November 2018 and Stella said the loss may have affected him more than he realized. While the investigation remains open, it has come to a standstill. Detective Inspector Mark Rosser from Sussex Police said, "Our thoughts are with Owen's family and friends a year on from his disappearance. The investigation remains open and we would welcome any further information that might lead us to Owen." Police said searches extended along the coastline as far east as Dungeness in Kent, and, following the advice of an oceanographer from the University of Southampton, officers also alerted colleagues across the channel. But despite their extensive efforts, they discovered no clue as to where Owen might be 1 year later. Stella said she hated to use the word anniversary, which has happy connotations, and said she would be relieved when the day was done. She was planning to spend some time on Friday sitting by a fire with 1 or 2 close family members, an act that had become really important to her since Owen went missing. They will light some candles, as will many of Owen's family and friends, wherever they are. Stella and friends have also been putting collection boxes with a poster of Owen in local takeaways and shops in recent days to raise donations for the charity Missing People. She said, "Local people have been really great. They all know me. Saltdean is such an amazing place to live in. Everyone is really grief-stricken as well. Everyone who is a parent, everyone who went searching, everyone who went looking on the downs." Over the last year, Stella has been supported by Missing People and, thanks to the charity, has got to know other people whose loved ones have gone missing. They meet once a week online to talk and spend time together, to grieve with each other, as well as have a laugh and a joke. And though it was heart-wrenching to hear their stories, Stella said meeting them was a relief. "They might be dead, they might be alive, you don't know, there's no evidence." Robbed of the chance to say goodbye and have a funeral, she said, "We are all left in limbo." Some of the families Stella has met have had loved ones missing for decades. "It shocked me when I first joined the group," she said. "It's quite overwhelmingly excruciating. Someone has had someone missing for more than 20, 30 years. But it sort of prepared me for an acceptance that if Owen died, that this could be it. This could be our fate, that we never find out." Some families cling on to the hope that their loved one might be found, but Stella said she felt, in my heart and my gut, that Owen was no longer alive. "We are just left lost and bereft, because we can't conclude this story," she said. Stella's boyfriend Sonny Davidson has written a song about Owen, called "May You Find Your Way Home," to help raise funds for missing people. The lyrics were inspired by the many phone calls the couple shared in the months after Owen's disappearance. With the help of several friends skilled at photography, they also made a music video, which Stella said was a beautiful process. Stella said the song had really resonated with other families of missing people and has been used by the charity Missing People for several of their virtual events. "Lockdown has been difficult for everyone, but for Stella, it has deprived her of the chance to find comfort with loved ones as she comes to terms with what has happened." Detective Inspector Mark Rosser said, "Our thoughts are with Owen's family and friends a year on from his disappearance." Owen Harding, a teen who has been disappeared during lockdown, was never been found up to now. What happened to him? Is he dead or alive? What happened to him? No one can answer. Losing anyone that you love is tough, and losing a child is even tougher. Not knowing what's happened to them is probably the hardest. Owen was a great young lad, really friendly, really cheerful. He was really talented, really artistic. He was really well liked. It's that ambiguous grief that is really the most difficult. Struggling with the lockdown, Owen stormed out of the family home, desperate to see his girlfriend in York. Stella Harding continues to hope that some new evidence will come to light to explain his disappearance.